Hey there, I'm Jennifer,
And I'm Jackie.
and welcome to Slightly Unsupervised. We're best friends, business partners, and the chaos behind Bestimony, a ceremony we created to celebrate the kind of soulmates who don't come with a marriage license.
This podcast is all about that friendship energy, the deep stuff, the messy stuff, and the laugh till you snort stuff.
So whether you're driving, folding laundry, or you're hiding in your car for some peace and quiet,
You're in good company. Let's get slightly unsupervised.
welcome back, y'all. We are on episode 4 of Making Friends Later in Life series. This title is Boundary Needs and Friendship Reset, How to Stay Open Without Losing Yourself. Helping women understand what they actually need from friendship now, why boundaries feel scary, but they're essential, and how naming them creates safer, more sustainable connection, not distance.
This series is all about making friends later in life, but what we've learned is that most women aren't struggling to meet people. They're struggling to stay open without getting hurt again. And a lot of that comes down to boundaries or the lack of them. Once you understand who you are, how you get energy, and what wounded you in the past, the next question becomes, how do I protect myself without shutting people out? This episode is about learning how to stay connected without self-abandoning.
Yes. So boundaries are super hard if you haven't established them in life. It can be really tough when you jump into the friend world about who you allow next to you and how they can affect you. So boundaries are super important. You learn them in relationships with your significant other pretty quickly, and then you have some boundaries. And then, but on the friendship front, maybe we don't have as many boundaries. If you haven't had a ton of experience with it, and a lot of you are just looking for friends later in life, that's what this series is about, then you may not have any boundaries. You may be starting from zero. So today we're just going to kind of talk about the boundaries and some of the reasons that you need them and how they can help you get to a place where you can really find somebody that's going to be good for you and going to really be your friend, and that you aren't self-sacrificing. Boundaries help you without self-sacrificing yourself too much about stuff. So women, all women, I don't care what age we are raised to be agreeable, to keep peace, and to avoid being too much. It comes from our childhood. Jackie, I know you and I can probably definitely
I
relate.
agree on the be agreeable and keep the peace, but I don't think I was really told not to be too much.
I was told not to be too much for sure.
Really?
Like, yeah, like, you don't need to be quite that. You're the older though, that might be part
Mhm.
of it. You were old,
Mhm.
so they wanted you to be too much because you
Mhm.
had to take care of the other 2. For
Yep.
me, it was like, "You pipe down, little girl, and do what your brother tells you to do," or whatever. So,
Mhm.
being too opinionated or too much was a problem on my side, but that may be the pecking order that we were in for sure, especially when we
For
were
sure.
younger.
Mhm.
Uh and then boundaries can trigger fear, you know? Shoot, if you don't have boundaries, if you have boundaries, then, you can leave yourself sustainable. If you don't have them, to being rejected, there's this conflict, you end up being by yourself. Like, you've gotta come in with some boundaries, and boundaries are basically parameters of a relationship that you are willing to put up with or willing to need to have, and if they don't have those parameters, they're not for you. That's what a boundary is gonna teach you, is that the parameters that you need to feel safe inside of, and what you'll put up with and what you won't put up with. I think that's the
Mhm.
best way to describe boundaries, don't you, Jack?
Definitely. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be somebody who's very, into their church, and
Mhm.
you might meet somebody that would probably be a boundary for someone. Oh, you're not into the same church, and if it's somebody that's doing everything there, it's
Yeah.
probably gonna be a boundary. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me, right?
That's a good
That's a
example,
good
because
example.
somebody who has
Mhm.
got such a passion for something, if you don't
Mhm.
match that passion and that's their entire thing, then the boundary's gotta be, I don't wanna say that I'm gonna do something that I don't think I'm going to do, or I'm not going to change, or I'm not interested in, or whatever, to say it's a boundary is that this probably would be something that we would not click with and we would not do well, and so you've got to put a kind of a boundary on that to be like, it's not gonna be a match for us.
Yeah, and the other side of that too could be the person that, like, from someone who's, into their church wants to bring this person in and make friends with them that way.
Right.
And so
And they're
then
like,
they get the boundaries like,
yeah.
"Hey, that's not what my friendship's about, is to come into your church."
Right, right,
So
right,
there's
right.
2 sides of that, you know what I
Sure,
mean? But that's one that I think
100%.
is a good example for sure.
Yeah, it is a good example because you definitely are, your boundaries are pretty set, and so you
Mhm.
either joining in or you're not joining in. So,
Mhm.
the thing is to sort of become aware of them, what you need, what you don't need. Certainly things change, right? Like, as we get age, as we older, they're changing. They're not the same as they used to be. Life experience jumps in there. Like, it'd be hard for me to be a friend with a 20-year-old because I know for sure me, I'd be like, "What are we doing? What are you doing? What's going on? Why would you go out with that guy? That's ridiculous." That's because life experience has taught me things, right? They're
Right.
learning. And so my expectation on top of their 20-year-old would come with wisdom would be like, I would have no patience for it. And so it's not a good it's not a good fit there, right? Like,
Or why are you putting yourself in that situation? Dang it, we did that word like you were alive. Don't.
right?
That's
So,
life experience.
it's
Yes.
life experience has to have some of that, you know?
Mhm.
If you've lived through something, you have that life experience. So, and just being aware of it is really kind of a good thing. Like, you wanna be in a friendship that is mutual, not one that's, parenting. If you
Yeah.
got into a relationship with a 20-year-old and you're 55, I don't know anything more than we're just parenting them. Like, "What are you doing? What are we doing here?" Like, and sometimes people need that, right? Some people are, like, looking for that. Maybe they didn't get parenting, so that's something that would work for them. If
Well,
that
that's
works
like
for
in
y'all,
couples.
yeah,
There's
one's
couples,
younger.
you have, 55-year-old, either man or woman, and then the opposite, and they have a 20s, early 20s, partner.
Yeah, age gap.
In my head, I don't know how that works.
I know.
Is it just a fun killing time because
Well,
you're
they
in 2
always say
different parts
that.
of your life?
Yeah,
So
they say that women, when they date older men, is kind of like a fathery thing or something, and that
mhm,
I don't know about the men that are looking at the older women, maybe they're looking for mothers. I don't know. I'm
sugar
not
mama.
sure. Yeah, sugar mama.
I always think it was a sugar mama for the boys, but
Yeah,
that's
really.
because I have boys, everybody, I'm not like,
Yeah. I have
put
boys too, so I understand what you're saying. So, okay, so common later life friendships need consistency over intensity. I agree. Let's not jump into super, you're just kind of feeling things out. They need to be emotionally safe for sure. You
mhm,
need to be
mhm.
able to feel emotionally vulnerable to somebody, and if they're not a safe person, I don't know, don't waste your time is my advice to you, I guess.
Advice.
Yeah. Mutual effort, you gotta have both, man.
Mhm.
If you're doing all the legwork and you're, doing the tap dancing all day long and the other one's just staring there watching you, they don't join in. They're like, "Let me take over for a minute." You gotta get out of those girls. That's not a good friendship. Please. Low drama, of course, and respect for time and energy. So less chaos doesn't mean you're boring. It just means you're kind of self-aware.
We say low drama, but there's some friends that I think they like drama, so we're not saying that that's like
True.
you
True.
know, gonna break it.
If you can find someone who likes your kind of
Yeah.
drama and enjoys it, absolutely. You
Mhm.
could make a whole friendship probably on drama. I mean, you
Yes.
could.
I know a couple people that are that way, and they're good friends. It's like, "Okay, you go over there, stay over there. I'm gonna stay on my low drama mama side, and you stay on your high drama mama side. We'll meet up
Right?
in the middle once in a while, and we'll separate."
Correction,
It's
y'all. If
true.
drama is your thing and it feeds
Yes.
on you and you guys are into it, then you go. You know
Go
what I
for
mean?
it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Definitely.
boundaries are not walls. So just remember that. But you got to find some boundaries. You can't just jump in and be like, "What do you need from me? I'll be everything you need." You need to come up with some of your own stuff. And this is why this series is going on. We're trying to help you kind of create some boundaries, some things that will make you feel good because boundaries will keep you safe, but it will also keep you looking for the right person. No
Mhm.
boundaries, everybody's acceptable, right? So you got to have some boundaries, right? So, I mean, I think, the classic example, I'm just going to bring it back into this is that your very first boyfriend, you probably had no boundaries in life because you just were like, everything's great. Well, it's great. It's perfect. Everything's good. And then your second relationship, you're like, no, 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 we're not doing any of that because you've learned. And this is what we're talking about. Learn from them and then put some boundaries around stuff so that you feel comfortable or that you feel safe and that these friendships actually have a chance to make it, that you have some good boundaries around what you're looking for. So you don't need to explain them, you just know them. You are sort of doing an interview when you're hanging out with people about what they're like to and their boundaries and your boundaries, and you can kind of make a assumption if the two things will come together. But don't get into a place that you are doing all the work. Please don't do that. It's not a good place to be. You can't be a one sided friend. It's got to be a mutual experience for you if you really want to have it. And if you're one of those people that has a hard time making friends, you got to go back and look at the friendships you had and reevaluate what happened to those. There's a lot of lessons in that, a lot of tells you about who you are. Don't you think, Jackie? Like if you look back on your friendships from the ones that you were younger to now, that if the ones that failed, let's just talk about the ones that
Mhm.
failed. There was a lesson in all of them, wasn't there?
Oh,
Something you learned.
definitely. Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
If you talk about something that happened, like a friendship that you had for a long time and then it ended, and then you go back and reflect on it, you certainly can pick out the places where you did the things wrong that caused that and how they behaved and how they caused that. And all you can do is learn from it and create a boundary with it. I won't be doing that again because that's not a formula of success to some degree, don't you think?
Definitely.
Okay.
And I've even had those situations where they've tried to come back and they try to reach out, and I'm like, I'm just done because I gave you so many chances that I know
Mhm.
you haven't changed. I know you, and
Yeah.
there's no way, and I'm not getting myself put in that back situation where you know of what we had and bring
Right.
myself down. It's just not worth it. It's like, okay, thank you, nice for you to reach out. I hope you're doing well. Bye bye.
Right, right, and I think that you've learned that though, like,
Hmm.
if you're really good about being aware, you can almost pick out their boundaries as you start going through it. Like, Jackie and I were just friends this week, and I called you and I was like, "Hey, do you wanna, go do the bar tomorrow night or this week?" And you're like, "Nah, it's not really my thing." Is the line of which you need to pay attention to. If I asked you to do something and you didn't wanna do it and you were like, "It's not really my thing," then you would know that there's the boundary there. Like, she's good for going and hanging out and maybe we wanna go,
Let's go
shopping.
walk market night. Yes.
Yeah, something like that. But the boundary is that she's probably not going to be a friend for bar
Going to the
hopping.
club.
Yeah, and it's okay, that's her boundary. Like, you either accept it or you don't accept it. If you are looking for somebody to club hop with, then you're gonna probably have to move on, but they're telling you as you're getting to know them all of their little boundaries that they have and the things they like to do or not like to do, and it's up to you to discern the fact that some of these things they mean and some of these things work for you and some of these things don't work for you. So,
Mhm.
you're getting clues all the way through, and as you're getting clues, you're deciding at that point, "Where's my boundary line and where do we meet and how are we gonna, coexist together?" So boundaries are important, you gotta learn them. You gotta be good at keeping them, and you have to be good at listening to somebody else's boundaries too. This is not all one-sided, y'all. Like,
Mhm.
respect other people's boundaries because other people will tell you what their boundaries are, and you have to pay attention to that as well. So, all right. So, there's a little test on this whole thing. This is for you to reflect on. So, this exercise is my friendship needs and boundaries. So, first thing we're going to do, and Jackie, I want you to think of the things that if you were looking into a new friendship, I know we're friends, so we got a lot of this stuff is already ours. But if we were looking for new friendships, name 3 things you would need from a friendship now.
Honesty. Put me on the spot.
I
Honesty.
know.
Um, what I need from it? I guess also like fun,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
and consistency.
Okay. I
I like
like
those
that.
3 things. I like
I do
those.
too.
I'm sure yours is different though.
From a friendship now, I would need somebody who's fun. I would.
Mhm.
I have consistency and support on a lot of levels, but that would be somebody who's fun, somebody who is adventurous for me. I would require that. Like, you got to be able to want to go do something that's not out of the realm. We can't just do all these like super normal things. Like, let's have some fun. And then the final thing for me would be you have to love animals. I mean, there's one right
Yeah,
there.
they're right there. They were speaking for you, Jen. That's what it was. You forgot to mention us.
I know. I am such a animal lover that if you don't like animals, that's a boundary for me. Like, oh, I don't think we're going to be able to get along. Okay, so you're next, Jackie.
One boundary, you struggled to hold.
Me, I guess I could be a little I could be giving a lot to an emotional person, quite a bit, and not expect anything in return. So I got to be careful with that too, right? Because like people can emotionally lean on me for some stuff, and then I don't ask for it back. And I have to be careful about who I do that for because it needs to be both ways. You gotta be able
Mhm.
to be somebody's emotional support and have emotional support too. So, I have to be careful with that with new people because I can be that way. I'll be like, "Oh, I'll help take care of everything. I'll solve all your problems. Life's." I can't do that. So, it's a hard boundary for me to struggle because my nature is to help. So I've gotta be careful with that. So, what about you, Jack? What's your
Mine
boundary
is
you
saying
struggle?
no. Saying
No?
no. Like, if I
Oh,
don't wanna do something,
right.
but I need to do it, I have to,
Mhm.
so that's the one I struggle with. I think everybody knows that, though.
Yeah. I don't have a struggle with no, but yeah, I get you. Like, we're not gonna do that today. So
I'm
see,
getting
but we're
better, though.
different.
I am getting better.
No, that's good, but we are different that way, you know what I mean? Even though we're best friends, we're different that way. We have different
Mhm.
stuff, so it all depends on the person and the stuff. So, okay, I think you're next, Jack.
Well, the next one boundary I'm ready to practice saying no.
Jackie's
Just
ready to
said it.
say no.
That is just my biggest thing. I think, like, otherwise, everything seems to fall in line, but I'm doing that with our group, our best friendship group, because 'cause I'm not looking for I mean, if somebody comes into my friendship, like, they won't be in our best friend group, but, like, you know, we're saying about one of our other girlfriends that we've been going camping with, we've made friends with the friends that they're with. So, like, I'm doing this Valentine's thing, of course, I extended the invitation to them. So, yeah. So I'm pretty good with you know what I mean, with everything else. It's just the no. I feel like everything
Mhm.
else I'm pretty good with.
Right. I think I would just need to practice being more needy or vulnerable emotionally, maybe. I don't know. I think
Yeah,
that
you don't like to act like you need anything ever.
yeah, that comes from childhood. Deal with
Mhm.
your own problems, solve your own problems. You don't have anywhere to
Mhm.
go, so solve them yourself. I have to get more okay with other people can help me with stuff. I think
Mhm.
that's something that I would need to practice at, but everybody has a different upbringing. Everybody has a different set of circumstances, and that's where mine came from. And I need to work on being more vulnerable with that stuff for sure. Okay. One fear that comes up when you think about stating your needs, Jackie. Your word no. What is the fear that comes up with you stating that?
Oh, that someone will be upset with me,
Disappointed?
disappointed,
Mhm.
like, because I get this so I my husband works, I'm a stay-home I'm a podcaster now.
Full-time podcaster, by
And
the way.
I do help Jen with her business, but a lot of people, I think, they get disappointed because they think I'm not doing anything, which I
Oh,
run this house. Yeah, I'm the CEO of this house. If you ask my husband, he gets
you
to
are.
work hard, does very well at his work. He's went up, like, tremendous in his company, but he says it's because he doesn't have to worry about anything at home.
Right.
I do everything. I
Yep.
take the cars to get oil changes. I go to get their tires, new tires. I do it all.
Right.
And that's always a really good it always makes me feel good when he says that. And he says he wouldn't be because he has nothing he has to worry about except to do good at work.
Right. And that's 100%. I've been in that house, that's exactly how that goes. You make the
Mhm.
meals, you make sure the laundry's
Yep.
done, you make sure the yard is mowed, like, all
Yep.
of it. Jackie's in charge of
Mhm.
it. So I guess
But
if
see
you
yeah, so then they all think that I have like, it's also them not realizing what I need to do. So I feel
right.
like I'm disappointing them because they think I'm not doing anything. Does that make sense?
Well, it's the same thing that's been happening to women for many years, Jackie, is that if you're a stay-at-home mom, you're not doing anything. Like,
Mm,
what are you talking about? First of all,
mm,
the stay-at-home mothers are the busiest women on the planet doing
mhm.
the most important job on the planet, and we think, "Oh, well, you just home." You stay home. You deal with these children 24/7. I gotta work, and you do it because it's a hard
Mhm.
job, and women should stop making women feel bad. You should know, especially if you've had children, that's a terrible thing to do to a woman because I would not you couldn't pay me to stay home and raise my children 24/7. I can't. I wouldn't be able to do it. And I know friends that
Mhm.
have childcare businesses, they do childcare. What? Why would you do that? What in the
Well
world?
well, I think some do it because that's the way they can stay with their kids, and that's how they can afford it.
These people don't
Makes
even
sense.
have kids that age.
Oh,
They're
oh, okay,
still
that's
doing
different. I'm sorry,
childcare.
I didn't realize.
They're
No,
my age, and they're watching three-year-olds. I'm like, "Oh
no.
my
I
god."
mean, if it's your grandchildren, but if not, no, they're not destroying my house.
Oh, man. God bless them because I for sure would never do that job. I don't care what it pays, I'm not doing it. So, the school teachers too, they are the forefront of that, so God
Oh,
bless them
yeah.
too. But, a fear that comes up when I think about stating my needs is vulnerability, right? I've been told to mind my own emotions, and nobody cares what you think, and for me, if I had to open up and get to a point where I said something or stated my needs or whatever, my fear would be it doesn't matter or that, go figure it out, like the same response. And then you're like, yeah,
Mhm,
I'll go figure it out. Why would I need to say that? That's what I was going to do anyways. You know what I mean? So to be vulnerable for that would be something that would be hard on me for sure. But it's important too, to be somewhat of a person that would be willing to share that stuff and not feel like you're dealing with somebody who doesn't need anything from you. So I have to be
mhm,
aware of that too. So boundaries are going to feel uncomfortable at first. They are. It's just one of them things where you're gonna hold a line, but people will either rise up or not follow. I have a great story for this boundary thing. I wanna tell it.
mhm.
I don't know if I've told it before. We have so many podcasts now, it's hard to know what I've said. So there was this girl that was friends with my friend, and she was dating this really good looking guy. Have I told this one before? And anyways, he was really good looking. I'll even give him that. He was really good looking. Anyways, she wanted her to go on a date with him. And so she said yes. So he was supposed to be there at like 7. And he comes knocking on her door at 7:30 at night. And half an hour late, no call, no nothing. And so her mother opened the door and her mother said to the boy, "You're late. She's not going out with you. Thank you. Goodbye." And closed the door, right?
I've not heard this story.
You haven't. Okay.
No.
So it's a great story because I tell it to like my nephews and stuff. I'm always trying to help my nephews understand respect. So here's a guy that was really good looking, was used to getting whatever he wanted. If he wanted to be in half an hour late, he was half an hour late. Women just still went out with him, right? Because he's a good looking guy. Like you got the ticket to go out with me. So whether I don't have to perform anything, you're lucky. And so she held her boundary line. She said she had her mother answer the phone. She would not go out with him. The mother closed the door and told him goodbye. And she was in her room. She got undressed. She went in her pajamas. She went back to bed. So he went crazy, crazy because she wouldn't go out with him. He kept calling her. "I'm sorry. I should have called." No response. "I'm sorry. I should have probably texted you or done something." No, she just didn't respond. She's like, "You got your chance. It didn't work
Mhm.
out. And now we're done." And that guy chased that girl as hard and forever trying to get her to go out with him again. And so after months of trying, like really trying, and he had his mindset on it because it was like the one thing he couldn't have, right? He finally got her to go out with him again. You bang damn sure he was there on time. And she ends up marrying him. And he ends up being this most devoted husband on the planet because she taught him something, right? She taught him
Mhm.
about a boundary and a boundary she held and a boundary that he then had to respect. And she didn't give in quickly. It took a long time for him to get her to go out. To this day, they're still married. They have children. They're, a beautiful family, but he had to learn to be respectful of her. And I thought it was the greatest lesson on the planet. I was like, go girl. Like she did it. And she got the guy, like the guy, I'm not saying a good looking guy is a great guy. I am not saying that at all, y'all. I'm just saying that a lot of women wanted to go out with that guy and he had no interest really of being anything to anybody until the one that wouldn't. She held her boundary line and she taught him a lesson, and the lesson was the lesson. And it's really interesting that when you do something like that, that people can be a little off put by it. And that's a
Mhm.
good lesson about boundaries because he was a little shocked about it and the way the behavior happened and then reflected and then went back and was like, okay, well, I can adjust my boundary line too and I'll do better. And he did. And so um I always think of that lesson. I would tell my nephews that lessons all the time is I'm like, look, you've got to be respectful about people and their time and energy. So
Mhm.
anyways, you don't need to give up your boundary lines. You just need to hold them and you need to understand them and find out what they are. Do some studying on them, figure out what you need because when you kind of come together with people, you need to know what you're going to put up with and what you're not going to put up with. And it's a good boundary lesson to come into because it can help you not get hurt or be in a relationship that you don't want to be in, a friendship. Find a friendship that you really would like to have. Do you have anything left to say on this, Jack, before we sign off?
On the boundary, like you were just saying that story, that can be the same way with friends too,
Mhm.
on being late. If we've talked about that before,
Mhm.
how irritating it gets if you're the person always being late
Right.
and you're the one always waiting. That would be a good boundary
And it
that
was
way
in the
also.
it was in the very beginning. She didn't put up with it and then
Mhm.
found a boundary line. She just
Mhm.
immediately said, "I'm not putting up with that, so you can get on with your way." And yeah, 100%. Or,
Mhm.
somebody who's not available for you and, you just stop calling them. Like, it's okay to put these boundary lines out, y'all. It's
Mhm.
important to do and they do can change. And some people can change, some people will adjust with you. They'll be like, "Oh, okay, I can do that." And then some people won't, and that's okay too. But, find your boundaries. You need them. They're important. They protect you. All right. If this episode hit you the feels or made you laugh way too hard, we consider that a win.
Be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your ride or die,
And when you're ready to make your friendship official, book your best simony at rhinestoneweddingchapel.com.
because the best love stories don't always come with a ring.
We stick together, ride or die to the moon
alone, and no amount of space could ever come between us two. The reuniting's like we've never been apart, and every single time we're eye to eye and heart to heart. There's not enough words to describe what you mean to me. Through heartaches and ups and downs in this life, you've stayed right next to me. I vow to make you laugh till you cry and talk about everything under the moon. The definition of a best friend is you. And we'll keep dancing through the rain, forever connected. Same page, we're writing our story every day. We'll keep on growing, ever change.